Hi, everybody. And this is Dave Emmons, the Dave Emmons Show. And you can call me Old Sarge since I'm an old combat veteran. I'm talking a little bit about politics today in my little 10-minute briefing. And I actually am directing this towards the Truth Social Network, and that's Trump's network. And I want to send that there, but I'll send it to Facebook. I just have to talk about my feelings about this. First of all, please buy my two books. What Do They Want? UFO Disclosure, ET Disclosure, and also my second book coming out this week, Senseless Wars and Senseless Conflicts. And that's by a perspective of a Vietnam veteran. And that's me, the old Sarge from Vietnam. I want to talk about this new bill that the House passed and also the Senate passed. And now the House has to pass it again this Friday. They have to go back through it. But it was a $750 billion healthcare tax and climate bill, and a significant victory for President Joe Biden. He hasn't had any victories. They've all been failures as far as I'm concerned. It was a 51-50 party line vote with the Democrats, with Vice President Kamala Harris, if you can call her that. She broke the tie. And the package and the product, the painstaking negotiations, they say, sure it was. And I'm sure the Republicans fought really hard. I doubt it. They don't fight very hard. Democrat controlled House. Of course, the numbers are against the Republicans, but I still think that they could fight a little bit more. And also, the rhinos need to get out of that office. We actually need to replace most representatives and senators in the White House, and we need to replace the White House too. I included that automatically. That just come to automatic thinking. But we also need to replace all these representatives. They're not doing their job. They're not standing up for the American people. They're not talking about standing up for First Amendment, Second Amendment, and Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment rights. It's all the way down the line. The Constitution is being violated all the time. This sweeping bill, named the Inflation Reduction Act, in which a lot of experts say it will not reduce inflation. And it represents the largest climate investment in U.S. history, and it will make major changes to health policy by giving Medicare the power for the first time to negotiate the prices of certain prescription drugs and extending expiring health care subsidies for 3 years. And that's great for older people, but what they do is they hide these little tidbits in there in order to make the bill look good. But they're actually trying to shove this Green New Deal down our throats as we go. And that's what they're doing with this whole thing. And they're talking about reducing the deficit by paid through taxes. This is going to be paid through taxes, reducing the deficit, in which I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to, including a 15% minimum tax on large corporations and a 1% tax on stock buybacks, and boost the Internal Revenue Service's ability to collect. And the bill would raise over $700 billion, they're thinking, in taxes. And I don't think that's going to happen. And because they're going to be going more and more in debt as we go, as long as the Democrats stay in on office and in power. And the government revenue over 10 years and spend, that's going to be $700 billion in government revenue for 10 years, and spend over $430 billion to reduce carbon emissions. What does that mean to us? That means they're going to raise our gasoline prices, what they're doing right now, and now they're just faking it out. They brought it down to about 85 cents lower, but that's just a fake out, just a pause to kind of get our minds off of things. It's going to go back up, along with taxes going to go up, and our food prices are going to go up because corporations are paying more higher taxes, and that's the big problem. The Internal Revenue Service, here's the biggie. They're actually increasing by 87,000 new IRS agents, and they're going to be, I guess, investigating and auditing corporations. No, that's just not for corporations. That's for all of us. We're all going to have audits. We're all going to be looked at very closely, because they're going to squeeze every dime they can out of us to pay for this Green New Deal, a socialist communist Green New Deal. And that's going to be go over 10 years, what they're talking about. And they're talking about the health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, and use the rest of the new revenue to reduce the deficit. So they're going to put the Affordable Care Act in there, and they're going to pay for some money for that. But that might help. We don't know where that's at. We don't know. The little people don't know anything about it. But Marjorie Taylor Greene said, and she's a Republican representative, she said this is bad for the whole country. And it's going to tax people, and it's going to tax people under $400,000 not just over $400,000. That's another smokescreen. The middle class will pay. And the fossil fuels, when they do that, they cut that out. And then they say they want us to cut back on our energy, or they want us to cut back on air conditioning. That was even mentioned. So what does that mean? We're gonna live like third world country. We're gonna be back. That's what they want. That's what the socialists want. They'll at least want to take over the cabal, the deep state, and the new world order, borderless, one money, exchange, and that's where we're heading. I'm sorry to say, but that scares me really bad. That scares a lot of people where we're heading. We need new government in Washington, D.C., please. And President Trump, I love you, man, but you're going to have to do something in 2024 when you get back in there. I hope you get back in there, but please pick the proper people that's going to support you, and it's going to have your back, and it's going to help you get rid of the deep state and Director Wray and people like that are just concentrating on white Republicans and white supremacists. And that's all they're doing. They're not taking care of the killings and the robbings in LA, Chicago, New York. They're not taking care of any of that. They're not involved in any of that. They're just concerned about taking care, I guess, the white supremacists. And where's the white supremacists? Where are they? And the racism is not there as far as I'm concerned. It's not racism. They're turning us against each other so they can get their way. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We got China's going to invade Taiwan anytime now. There's weakness in Washington, D.C. and at the White House, and also China and Russia, North Korea. They all see this. They see the weakness. There was a meme that I saw with 4 wolves waiting to pounce on a weakened animal, an injured animal. And that's what Biden is. He's very weak. The White House is very weak. They don't know what they're doing. We need help in Washington, D.C., and us people are feeling it, and we can't do much about it except vote. And we want everything peaceful. We don't want any violence, no more violence. We want it done at Washington, D.C. with the representative in a peaceful way and a smarter way, maybe new people that represent this country. Thank you, and hope everything goes well. God bless everybody. This is Dave Emmons, the old Sarge, reporting off. Bye-bye.